is In Demand, Scotland's biggest evening show.
Let's hear it.
This is In Demand. Taylor Swift on the show with us tonight. We're excited about the new album, Taylor.
Thank you.
Which is out on the 22nd of this month.
Yeah, October 22nd, Red comes out.
I love the title track to this.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
I've
you for
only
listening.
I've heard a couple of tracks. Red, I love. That's a big song as well, isn't it?
Thank you so much.
It's typical Taylor Swift, but there's kind of like a pop, and there's a slight dance edge to it. There's a little beat to it that cuts through that I thought.
Thank you.
That's pretty different. I like that.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't wait for you to hear the song that comes out next week. It's called I Knew You Were Trouble. And it's a song that I wrote with Shellback and Max Martin. And it's a song that just kind of like, as soon as the melody popped into my head, I emailed Max immediately and I just said, I cannot wait till we're in the studio again. I have this idea I want to run past you. And it turned into being one of my favorite songs on the record.
And there's, of course, the single that we've got here in the UK right now as well. We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
Yep.
I love the title for that. I just think that's it's out there.
It is so long.
And
we had a meeting about that. We were like, what are we calling this song? Are we calling it Getting Back Together or Never Ever? We just kept going back to We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together being the title.
And at the end of the meeting, we were like, oh, this is so exhausting. After that long.
It's exhausting.
I love that bit in it as well.
Thank you.
But you do create massive songs that get in the head and really addictive tracks like that. It kicked around, it still is in the top 10 on iTunes and inside the top 5, top 3, but there is a lot of competition about in the UK right now from the likes of Rihanna, One Direction. When you look at your assault, if you like, on the UK charts, what goes through your head? Are you aware of all these other artists that are about?
I'm so excited that the song is doing so well in the UK charts. You know, it's been amazing to have it do so well in places other than the US. Like, this song has for sure been the biggest breakthrough song we've had, like, worldwide. And, I just kind of hope it's going to do well against competition, and I'm not as fierce about it as you'd think. I just hope it does well.
You get out there, and it is a great song. Like you say, everyone's loving it. And it's from the album Red, like we said, October 22nd for this. The album, would you say it's a relationship album?
Yes. I mean, I'd say that it's about the lessons that I've learned in the last 2 years, and most of the lessons I've learned have had to do with love. Mm-hmm. So it's about the beginnings and endings of relationships and everything that goes on in between that.
What about the title? Why did you pick Red?
I picked Red as a title because I feel like it kind of represents the most intense emotions, whether they be the good ones or the bad ones. There's love and passion and all that, and that's Red. And then there's also like jealousy and anger and frustration, and it's also the color of daring and adventure for me. So this album is definitely out of the box for what I usually do, and so I thought Red would be the perfect title.
And there's a song in there with Ed Sheeran as well.
Yeah, there's a duet that we wrote called Everything Has Changed.
And you wrote that in a trampoline, is that correct?
Yes.
So that must have been interesting. Did you not have big squiggly lines up and down the paper?
We wrote the song in my backyard. I was showing him around my house, and we just ended up getting this idea right when I was showing him my backyard. And so we just sat on the trampoline and wrote the song.
That's what you do. You do like to write songs in random places, though, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Like airports and tour buses and hotel rooms and just anywhere, really.
Well, listen, Taylor, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great to have you with us. Let's get the track on In Demand, Never Ever, Getting Back Together. Best song title ever.
Thank you.
Introduce it for us.
This is my single. I'm so excited that you guys are playing it and requesting it. Thank you for everything. This is called We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together on In Demand.
This is In Demand.